So what's up, guys? David here. I'm gonna review Fear the Walking Dead, episode 6 of season 5. So it was a decent episode. It was slow, but it had moments that were definitely um, definitely good. Progressed the story plot. The scenes with Dwight and John, especially, I think, were the strongest. Um, just showing that, you know, um, that Sherry is still out there, or at least was out there. And, John saying that, you need another set of eyes to, uh, to maybe see something you missed. Because Dwight's saying that, he had already gone that way and, he checked everything and he, didn't see her or come across anything that would show that she was there. But John was able to see that ticket hanging for the bill, in the restaurant or diner, and that was pretty cool. He did that little trick that he said he saw in a movie, and I think we've all seen that before, where you get the pencil and you kind of just, you know, move it along. And yeah, that gave Dwight a lot of hope. And I think having hope is dangerous for him because ultimately, I don't feel like Sherry is going to be in the show. I know the actress is starring in other shows, or at least one other show. So I don't think she has the ability to show up. And even still on The Walking Dead, she left in season 7. So, she hasn't been affiliated with the Walking Dead franchise for years. So for her to go back to the universe and on Fear, I just don't see it happening. I mean, there's been no reports as well. Usually they're pretty good. Comic book or one of these other platforms, these other sites is good at reporting news for casting, and there hasn't been any. I'm curious if there's been any interviews from the actress, because I'm sure people have asked to see what if she's been to any conventions, or if there's any chance of her showing up um, for Fear, but not seeing that happen. But other than the Dwight and John scenes, the scene with Annie, the actress, did very well. It was a very emotional scene, her and Alicia. And Alicia always does great. She's a fantastic actress, and and then character Alicia, has really come a long way from when she started the show. Season 1, she was a very kind of smart aleck, bratty teenager, to now, just like the rest of the group, a strong survivor who's trying to make up for their wrongs in their past. Now, that as a plot line, I understand that they want to basically have all the characters move forward and try to be better people because they did such horrible things, they think. Especially, I would say, Morgan, because he killed a lot of people. It was, only shown, I think, in one episode in The Walking Dead where he killed that father and son. But other than that, he, would kill mainly saviors, it showed. But it was implied that he killed pretty much everyone he came across. So he probably has the most deaths behind his belt. And then, of course, Alicia killing the Vulture leader. But he was, you know, well, she shot the rocket, so she stabbed him and then she shot the rocket as well. So, yeah, she really did kill Mel. And then some of the other characters too, I believe. And then June, because she kind of lied to everybody in the beginning and kind of, went through the different names, Naomi and John called her Laura. But yeah, just I think she's trying to make up for feeling bad for, the stadium falling and for, just her part with the stadium and Alicia and everybody. Strand, of course, wants to make up for, um, being unhonest. Yeah, unhonest. And just, or what dishonest would be. Yeah, dishonest. He was a very dishonest and sly guy. Um, and then Charlie, of course, she wants to, show that she's not a piece of shit, as she had said. Killing Nick, who was my favorite character, and I think many people's favorite character for Fear. Travis being a close second for me. And that's what's interesting as well, is that I hear a lot of people complain about Madison. And Madison was hated for the first 2 seasons. It wasn't until season 3 when the writing really improved that her character shined. Yeah, it was unfortunate it had to be Travis to go down for her character to shine, and that was a shame with Travis as well, is because he was built up from being this good man. Even the episode in the finale of season 1, the good man, how he, that soldier he strangled to death, beat to death. Oh, yeah, it was implied he was to death, but anyway. Then season 2, after learning Chris is dead, then he, um, beats those 2 guys to death. And it shows his savagery and shows that he is a very capable character and, strong. And, he, in that moment, I think a lot of audience, the audience were drawn to him after that. It's a zombie show, so I mean, you need to have brutality and you need to have characters to change. You need to show different things. Have it be dark and have it be really deep, and the evolution of characters changing. And Travis was a great example, and then for him to just, be killed off right away is unfortunate, but the actor wanted to leave. And then with Nick, I knew the actor wanted to leave as well, but yeah, him being killed was a shame. I mean, his whole story for season 4, I mean, I understood where it showed that he was traumatized from the dam and how he didn't want to go outside the walls, But, I mean, I felt that wasn't really true to him either, because he was a heroin addict and he was always out and about on his own, and even before the apocalypse, probably in very, very terrible conditions, and yet still he would, put himself out there, even when he was in season 2 with Madison, how he wanted to go make the trade for Travis rather than his mom, and then how he went with for Strand to meet Luis. I mean, he would always push himself forward. So the whole dam explosion making him all of a sudden change character was kind of weird. It's just a shame that the show has changed so much since since the showrunners came on board. So really, this review is not just of the current episode. It's just kind of where Fear the Walking Dead is right now. Um, yeah, I think it's a shame that the writing has moments of greatness, and then it starts to, as people say, jump the shark. So having the hot air balloon, was kind of silly. I mean, it was. I mean, showing, that magazine with the, and I even had to pause the TV myself. My girlfriend and I had to look at it, and we still didn't even realize it until we kept on trying to analyze it to see what it was that it was trying to imply. And then after seeing the end of the episode, and we saw, or when the actual balloon came, then we said, "Oh, okay." So then after the episode was over, we went back to that spot and paused it again, and then we realized, what it was. But I don't know. It just, I think the hot air balloon thing was, it's these writers are trying to add humor. They're trying to be lighthearted and funny, and that's fine. I was a fan of Z Nation, the show, and having moments of humor and changing it up is good to do. A lot of zombie movies do that as well. But the thing is, the show has completely changed in tone, and normally you would have showrunners kind of try to just keep what is already started going and just keep it going with what's already been envisioned, but instead of just changing it completely. And it's such a shame because the original showrunner with season 1 and 2 struggled to get it to a season 3, but once he got to season 3, it found its rhythm, and it was a great show. That season was the best in so many ways. I mean, it had um, so much deep plots and the character development and shocking deaths and just action, and there was some humor in there as well. And I don't know, it was a perfect mix. Season 4, bringing Morgan in was like, a lot to do. Introducing a new character to Fear, character that us Walking Dead fans know. Cause I really don't think that there's anyone that watches Fear that doesn't watch The Walking Dead. I think in the beginning there was, but now it's just maybe 30% of The Walking Dead fans watch it. So I mean, that's essentially what Fear is now. It's just the die-hard Walking Dead fans that watch anything Walking Dead, because there's still the people that watch the original show that aren't necessarily, fans of the whole universe or franchise. It just they like the show. It's on their DVR, and they'll watch it, But for us, huge fans, it is, interesting. But yeah, I just think season 5 has been good. It's better than season 4. The end of season 4, I can't deny it was a bit rough. And it's a shame because the actress who played Martha is a good actress. I know Coleman Domingo, plays Strand, was very, excited that she was on. And she even went as far to cut her hair off for the part. So we got to give respect to her, and she's a huge fan of, horror and stuff, So I thought that was great. And honestly, her origin episode, I thought that opening sequence was good. I just feel like at the end, the last episode or two, they just kind of didn't know how to really, drive it, how to make it really punch. And that's what's happened this season. I mean, I understand, like I said before, trying to be do-gooders and trying to, correct all their wrongs and everything. But the thing is that it feels too happy and family friendly. And don't get me wrong, there's a ton of families and people of all ages that watch Walking Dead, and Fear the Walking Dead. But it is a zombie show. It's a horror show and drama. And if you look at the original Walking Dead, I mean, there's been really dark and brutal episodes and content from Carol killing Lizzie after she killed Mika. That was a really dark episode. And then the Terminus episode with the cannibals. And then Governor beheading Herschel and Negan. That's his introduction. With what he did to Glenn and Abraham. I mean, that was over the top. I mean, super super gory and just it wasn't even in zombies. It was like just straight up murder. And but actually one of my favorite deaths, gory deaths, was when Noah was killed. I mean, I loved his character, but and the doors that he was in, the sliding doors or the moving doors or whatever. Um, that was and Glenn having to watch it. That was that hit me hard. That was a crazy death. But that's what people like to watch. I mean, it's not that we like watching people get killed. It's just that the drama the feeling you get from watching characters you love um, die tragic or horrible deaths. It just raises the intensity. So it's like you're truly afraid for your characters when you watch because anything could happen, anything crazy could happen. It's just like when we watch movies like Saw or any kind of Hostel or any of these torture films or slaughter films, Halloween, whatever. There's always intense graphic scenes, but it's as a horror fan, you see my Chucky. I love Chucky as well, um, and there's we really like to see the artistic standpoint. All the people involved in special effects and makeup and props, and that's why I love old school props as opposed to CGI. And nothing against CGI if it's done well, but I just feel like Fear lacks that. It doesn't have the intense, brutal episodes. It doesn't have the scenes that are needed. That's what has drawn people to watch Walking Dead year by year, and has what's made people want to be engaged and watch. I mean, whenever I used to host screening parties for The Walking Dead every Sunday, and mostly for premieres and finales later on. But originally, I tried to do every episode. But as years went on, I saw that less people wanted to watch it. So it just kind of diehard, fans, and then turned into just my family. But yeah, I think that people would get together before the episode would start. We'd just be like, okay, so who do you think's gonna die, or how's it gonna go down, or whatever. And you're just kind of like you know intrigued to see, because like I said, I'm appreciating the artistic standpoint. It's like, oh, what creative way are they gonna have a death scene this time, or what kind of cool zombie kills they're gonna do. And Fear's done that. They have done creative walkers and stuff, but it's like the walkers always go down easy. They haven't really had real intense scenes where you thought for sure that people were gonna get mauled. I mean, if you really want to amp the intensity up, I mean, Luciana could have you know, I think the show would do it, but she could have lost an arm or something. Like when the plane crashed, either lost an arm or maybe part of her face got burnt, not as bad as Dwight, but something, or some of the other characters could have injured something. Um, just I feel like that would have been more realistic, and also showing, like I said, that truly they can be harmed, and like this is dangerous, and this is a crazy world. But yeah, I don't know what else to add. Um, so like all the other episodes, I'll just talk about real quick. Um, the standout episode for me was Humbug's Gulch with Dwight and John and June. That was a great episode. And people were, surprised and thinking they jumped the shark with the splitting the bullet. But it actually can be done. Um, it is something that, I can't remember the actual gunslinger's name, but there was a guy that was known for splitting bullets and just being a trick shooter. And there's been other people posted online about doing those kind of shots, but supposedly the character John Dory is a slinger, and he did it for his job, or besides being a cop, he was a trick shooter. So I mean, it would be implied that he would know how to do stuff like that. They would hire someone that knew how to do special shots and stuff like that. And even still, he said it's the second time doing it. It is Hollywood. It's entertainment. Yes, you take that in with a grain of salt, but just the fact that it is possible, is what brings you in. And that's the thing I defend the show, both shows with, is that people that watch the Marvel films or all these superhero films, it's predictable in the sense of what's going to happen for the most part. You can always predict, what hero is going to do what, or what powers they're going to have, or this or that. And it's, over the top action, but we accept it, so we should do the same with The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. You know, I definitely think that should be, their skill set in fighting should always be accepted. The things that I will say are silly is like, you know, the air, the hot air balloon, and then also the plane. It's I understand they're saying Althea is a pilot, Strand's a pilot, but being able to fix a plane and being a pilot are two different things. So it's like putting that all together, and then just everyone else, is going to put it all together. And then Luciana, I mean, nothing against the actress. Actress is great, but the characters, the writing for her character, oh my gosh, that could be a whole other argument, a whole other thing. Luciana was such a great character in season 2, and they just totally, you know, it's like not even the same character. She's a very friendly and nice, nurturing woman, whereas before she was feisty and was a fighter, and now it's like, I don't know, it's just crazy. But yeah, with the plane, she's just saying to Althea and Alicia that, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, we'll get it done, we'll get it done. And I see her optimism, but it's like, realistically, it's like, how? Oh man. But yeah, if you guys agree with anything I've said, then please comment in the section. Or if you have any things that you want to bring up about Fear the Walking Dead and where it's at, up to episode 6 is where we are so far, and what you expect to happen in the next 2 weeks. I think I might post a video as well with predictions for the rest of the season. But just basically, this is for what's happened for the season so far, and as I went into it with my feelings towards the whole show is a full. But yeah, just like I said, if you want to get into discussion, I love Walking Dead and Fear Walking Dead, so let's talk about it. And yeah, take care, guys.